It's 2 a.m., the screen glow stings your eyes, and a hard truth keeps whispering. This isn't love, it's erosion, one excuse at a time. You're scrolling through messages, replaying promises that felt warm yesterday and turn icy today. She asks for respect, then chips at your footing. She says, lead, then yanks the wheel when you steer. You're not crazy. You're weary from wrestling a moving target. I'm going to map the signals that tell you it's time to go and why clinging tighter only drags you under. Let's talk early patterns people miss. I'm not labeling anyone doomed, but a missing model of steady masculinity can shape control strategies. When stability was scarce, control can feel like safety. Vulnerability alarms them. So a tug of war over every plan becomes their reflex, not always malice. You make a choice dinner spot, weekend plan, movie, and the challenge appears. Not because your pick is bad, but because letting you lead lights up. Danger in their nervous system. You're told, be a man, while every attempt at direction gets undercut. That's not partnership. That's a scoreboard disguised as romance. Power contests drain life. Some love the image of a strong partner, so long as they hold the controls behind the curtain. They want the costume of leadership on you, while the decisions funnel through them. Words say respect. Behavior says obey. Equality gets misread as endless comparison, not collaboration. Instead of two people rowing in rhythm, it becomes tally marks. Who earns more? Who does more? Who sacrificed last? Who owes? When collaboration morphs into competition, intimacy gets frostbite. And the work mode bleed? It's real. If you run everything at the office, it's tempting to manage the home like a boardroom. But achievement armor blocks closeness. You can conquer budgets and still starve a bond. If a calendar invite keeps beating quality time, the connection starves quietly. Then comes inconsistency, the mind bender. Monday, you're their future. Tuesday, you're a question mark. Wednesday, it's let's move in. Thursday, I need space. That's not healthy ambivalence. That's emotional whiplash. You can't build on shifting sand. Here's a trap. You reach out first after a blow-up. It feels noble, but it silently trades away authority. When someone exits and you chase, you announce, your presence outranks my dignity. Attraction can't survive where respect has left the room. Double standards, they'll rot your patience. You're late 5 minutes, disrespect. They're an hour late, stop controlling me. You forget a task, you don't care. They forget you should have reminded me. Rules flex for them and harden for you. Some people don't communicate, they litigate. Every conversation becomes courtroom theatre. Your I feel hurt becomes a cross-exam about a comment from 3 summers ago. That isn't dialogue, it's evasion by debate. They're not trying to understand you're a problem to defeat. Beware the grand self-portrait that doesn't match reality. If someone idolizes their ideal partner identity while dripping daily toxicity, anyone pointing to the mismatch gets cast as a villain. They're married to their narrative, not to growth. There's a brutal paradox in attraction. When someone believes they possess you fully, their fire can go dim. Desire loves a little mystery and mutual tension. Once they're certain you'll endure anything, curiosity evaporates. You turn into furniture useful, unexciting, taken for granted. After breakups, chaos masquerades as intensity. One morning you're their oxygen, by afternoon you're blocked. It's not strategy, it's impulse without a brake pedal. A midnight apology blooms into a noon meltdown. That isn't love, it's turbulence dressed as devotion. Infidelity scrambles. Chemistry. Intimacy creates biological bonding. Pair bonds shift. That sudden coldness you feel isn't only in your head. No paragraph can reverse a chemical pivot. Respect demands recognition of that reality. We've normalized soft responses to hard betrayals. Nobody's perfect morphs into anything goes. Boundaries become suggestions. A firm boundary isn't cruelty, it's self-respect. Without it, your soul pays interest on someone else's debt. Dysfunction can be addictive. Ignore, chase, collide, reconcile dopamine loop. You're not so in love. You're hooked on spikes and crashes. Real love is steady oxygen, not rollercoaster drops. If calm feels boring, that's not love deficiency. It's nervous system withdrawal. Healthy people have inner fuse boxes, lines they won't cross even unwatched. If someone only behaves when surveillance is on, integrity isn't present. Fear management is. Betrayal becomes a probability, not a possibility. Patterns over anecdotes, tiny lies, slippery timelines, rewritten history, these aren't random glitches. They're a code base. Believe what repetition reveals. Temporary silence might pause behavior. It rarely rewrites character. Family blueprints leak forward. If chaos was currency growing up, crisis feels like home. Many repeat the show they watched as kids, unconsciously. Understanding the script explains scenes. It doesn't obligate you to keep performing. You're not their therapist, and love isn't a clinic. Some people need storm clouds to feel alive. Quiet makes them itchy. They stir dust, spark arguments, and call the adrenaline chemistry. They aren't solving, they're sourcing a high. Peace registers as threat. Chaos reads as relief. Projection flips the story. They cause the fire, then claim burn marks you gave them. You set a boundary. You're controlling. You ask for consistency. You're abusive. The author of the damage recasts as the wounded lead. Logic can't captain a ship in a hurricane of feeling. You try sober reasons, they become ammunition for the next accusation. You're bringing a calculator to a thunderstorm. The more sense you make, the more it feeds the "you don't get me" script. The caretaker trap. You start cleaning emotions for both of you. Apologize, explain, stabilize, repeat. You slide from partner to custodian, and attraction withers when you wear that uniform. The more you mop, the more mess appears. Entitlement dresses up as needs. If you really loved me, you'd read my mind. You're punished for not predicting, not pre-soothing, not parenting an adult. When reality refuses to bend, they try to bend you. Here's a twist. Ignoring chaos can inflate their fixation. Not out of love, out of withdrawal. Conflict becomes their craving. You become the dispenser. Pursuit returns, but it's not devotion. It's the itch for another spike. Childhood echoes replay. You stand in. For a parent, the argument you're having isn't about dinner. It's from 1987, and you weren't there. You can't win a fight that started before you met. In toxic setups, emotional detachment becomes a lever. I'm hurt becomes a gambit. Now chase me. I need space turns into a test. Prove you care. Feelings transform into chess moves on a board you didn't agree to play. The seesaw pattern keeps attraction alive only in the gap. When you step forward, they lean back. When you step back, they lunge. Presence kills their interest. Distance reenacts desire. Attention can return. Trust rarely does. Intensity is not intimacy. If fireworks are the only heat source, winter always returns. Fighting feels like passion to the emotionally illiterate, because steady warmth is a flavor they've never tasted. Stop hunting logic in illogic. You're interrogating smoke. You seek plans in reflex, reasons in wounds. Some personalities aren't compatible with stability. Your job is not salvation, it's discernment. You can't tutor someone into integrity or love them into regulation. So, when do you leave? When mood management replaces life. When your home feels like a bomb squad van. When peace becomes a stranger in your own living room. When eggshells pave the hallway. When anxiety walks in before they do. The sharpest moment comes in quiet. You step away, and your shoulders unlock. You realize you've been breathing shallow for months. Calm feels like a revelation. That contrast is the truth teller. Let's be clear. You're not in a romance. You're in a war room. Every exchange is tactical. Every silence staged. Every calm a prelude. You can't win against someone wrestling themselves and using you as the mat. Boundaries aren't optional gear. They're life support. Toxic personalities will stress test every limit, then blame you for installing them. If they can't respect your lines, they can't respect you. Without respect, love is cosplay. Self-respect is the hinge. Every time you swallow the intolerable, you tell your reflection, we're worth less than peace. Their disrespect is harmful, but your self-abandonment is the deeper cut. Power, in healthy love, is mutual stewardship. Both protect the bond. In a power struggle worldview, you must choose, fight or exit. Fighting feeds the machine. Leaving is how you stop powering it. Detachment isn't cruelty, it's oxygen. You're not abandoning a human, you're escaping a pattern. You're not quitting, you're choosing sanity. Strength is knowing the necessary move and making it anyway. Communicate your exit simply for you, not to win them over. I'm leaving because this harms my mental health. That sentence is a door. You step through it without waiting for applause. Refusing to negotiate with chaos is a superpower. Peace needs no courtroom. Sanity requires no permission slip. You don't argue for breathable air. You breathe. Expect the cycle. Love bombing, rage, bargains, threats, vows. It looks like change. It's panic. The person who couldn't lift a finger to protect the bond now swears lifelong reform. Desperation is not transformation. I'll get help. I see it now. Never again. Change isn't a sentence. It's a season repeated. Years of work, not days of promises. You are not obligated to become their probation officer. The work it out chorus will sing. Yes, relationships take effort, but there's a canyon between learning to listen and surviving emotional assault. One needs tools. The other demands an exit. Know the difference. Friends and family will offer commentary from the sidelines. They don't wake up in your dread or pay your cortisol tax. Choose data from your body over opinions from their bleachers. Money tangles trap many. Leases, accounts, shared stuff. But calculate the cost of staying. Anxiety, interest, confidence, depreciation, joy, taxes. Logistics can be solved. A shredded mind is pricier. Stay for the kids misreads the lesson they're absorbing. Children learn love by watching it. If they witness chaos, they imprint chaos. Leaving teaches boundaries. Staying teaches endurance of harm. Fear of being alone is a mirage with teeth. Solitude with peace beats togetherness with turmoil every day. Loneliness is a wave that passes. Trauma is a riptide that pulls. Sunk cost whispers, we've invested 5 years. But bad stock held longer doesn't become good stock. Time spent is tuition. Don't keep paying to retake the same failing class. Recovery hurts before it helps. Your mind will replay highlights and mute the alarms. That's detox. Hold the line. Clarity arrives like sunrise, slow, certain, undeniable. You'll gain a diagnostic superpower. You'll spot red flags earlier, hear manipulation in softer tones, recognize cycles before you're strapped in. Pain, transmuted, becomes armor. Rebuilding is remembering yourself. You call old friends. You revive interests that went grey. You notice how much of you was given to firefighting that never ended. Standards rise naturally. After tasting peace, you won't barter it cheaply. Respect becomes non-negotiable. That's not being too picky. That's being finally precise. Your taste for relationships changes. You're done chasing sparks that burn holes. You want steady warmth, reciprocal care, a home that feels like exhale. Real love doesn't demand constant crisis management. Some patterns are inherited like stubborn furniture, grandmother to mother to partner. Whether born from trauma or from childhood crownings where every demand was met, the result is the same. Reality should bend. You are expected to become the latest contortion. False urgency exhausts you. Everything is an emergency. Nothing is prioritized. Your body lives in sirens. Chronic stress isn't a vibe, it's damage. It ages joy, fogs thought, and narrows hope. Here's the core. You can't build sturdy with crumbling bricks. You can't plant peace in war soil. Love cannot root where harm is the climate. Sometimes the most loving act is to step away so both can stop bleeding. Use a simple audit. Does this add or subtract? Do I feel fuller or smaller? Am I growing or shrinking? Am I more myself or less? Your body knows long before your mind signs the form. If you recognize the patterns, if you've tried and circled back to the same cliff, the timeline isn't later. Later multiplies the bill, now reduces the interest. Your first duty is to the steward you live with you. You can't rescue someone by drowning beside them. You can't heal someone's wounds by offering your skin. You can't stabilize chaos by sacrificing your center. Leaving is not cowardice. It's courage in motion. It says, I am worthy of calm, of respect, of a love that doesn't ask me to disappear. It refuses the unacceptable, even when the unacceptable is familiar. You deserve a relationship that brings ease, not hypervigilance. A partner who adds to your quiet, not erases it. Love that feels safe, not risky. If that's not what you have, you deserve to leave and find healthy. Strength to go comes from reframing. You're not abandoning them, you're choosing you. You're not quitting love, you're quitting harm. You're not weak for walking, you're strong for walking through. I want to hear your story. Which pattern did you spot first? What moment cracked the spell? What's holding you in place? Or what finally set you free? Your words might be the rope someone else needs. Before we close, breathe. You are allowed to protect your peace. You're allowed to redraw the map. You're allowed to begin again. If this brought clarity, tap like and help more people find winds of thought. Peace isn't a luxury, it's the minimum for love. Self-respect is the door. Courage is the hand that turns it.